He's been called a mogul, a music legend, a symbol of success. Sean Diddy Combs built an empire and shaped an era. But now that empire is cracking. And what's leaking out is darker than anyone imagined, because inside that courtroom, behind sealed doors and silent glances, a storm is unfolding. One woman, known only as Mia, stepped into the witness box and revealed the secrets of a world the public was never supposed to see. She says it wasn't just fame. It wasn't just fortune. It was fear. Former assistant says she would have been fired immediately if she reported. Abuse. This is not a rumor, not a headline. This is sworn testimony, under oath. And what you're about to hear, in Mia's own words, may change the way you see one of the most powerful men in entertainment. Forever. They called her Mia. Not her real name, of course. That was protected. But for years, she wasn't protected from anything. She was an assistant, working directly under Sean Diddy Combs from 2009 to 2017. What she says happened behind the scenes is a story so dark, so twisted, it's hard to believe it stayed hidden this long. Mia was more than just an employee. She was on the inside. She saw everything. And now, under oath, she's talking. She says the man the world idolized was a monster behind closed doors. When the court asked her why she never reported the abuse, her answer cut through the silence, like a knife. Mia testified that she never contacted law enforcement about the abuse. Said if she had disclosed it, she felt she would have been portrayed as a crazy person making everything up. She wasn't just scared of losing her job. She was scared of losing everything. I would have been stripped of any credibility, wouldn't have been able to get a job in the same or any industry, would have lost anything I knew. For Mia, silence wasn't a choice. It was survival. Even when she tried to leave, just to walk away, Combs' own chief of staff stepped in and told her, go back to the nightmare. When she tried to leave her job, Combs' chief of staff told her to go back to work. Why didn't she scream when he slammed a door on her arm? Mia says she didn't scream during abuse because she was in shock. Because by then, the pain was routine. And the silence? That was part of the job. Mia testified that posting about Diddy's birthday, promoting his brand, showing love on social media, all of that wasn't optional, it was required. And if she didn't play along, she'd be screamed at, humiliated, threatened. Mia testified she would be screamed at, humiliated, made fun of, and her job would be threatened. So when the defense pulled up a cheerful birthday post, trying to prove her claims were fake, Mia didn't flinch, because posting those messages, she said, wasn't affection, it was fear. Imagine being forced to celebrate the man you say hurt you, not just behind closed doors, but in front of the world, with cameras rolling, smiling, performing. That's exactly what Mia says she had to do. A birthday video, one of many, where the message was clear. Smile for the world. Pretend everything's fine, and don't even think about showing the truth. In court, the prosecutors brought up one of those carefully staged moments. AUSA. The birthday video, was it for Club Diddy? Mia, yes. A video for Club Diddy. Not a private message, a public gesture, a production. But that wasn't the only thing carefully curated. Even the water Mia was drinking, yes, the water, was part of the brand, part of the empire. AUSA. Did Mr. Combs co-own the water you were drinking? And did you say Revolt, the project you worked on, at the end? Mia. Yes. This wasn't just a video, it was a commercial. For the man she says terrified her. And what did Mia post about online? The bad times? The pain? The fear? Never. AUSA. You posted about the good, not bad times? Mia. Yes. Because that was the rule. Speak only of the good. Deny the bad. Erase the truth with a filter. In court, that video was shown to the jury. Mia is seen sitting at a desk, calm, poised, thanking Combs for being a friend and inspiration. She even ends it with, "I love you. Happy birthday." The jury saw a video Mia made for Sean Diddy Combs' 44th birthday, thanked him for being one of the biggest inspirations in my life. "I love you, happy birthday," Mia said in the video, blowing a kiss. The Yider defense thought they had her cornered. But when asked why she said those things, Mia didn't back down. She said the truth was never welcome in Diddy's world, and keeping him happy meant keeping herself safe. You think you're alone. You think your secrets are safe. But when you work for someone like Sean Diddy Combs, privacy isn't part of the job. In court, Mia revealed a disturbing claim, not just about control, but about surveillance. Total, obsessive surveillance. Mia: "He had stolen my phone, and Cassie's phone, many times. He's put tracking devices on her car." Read that again. Stolen phones. Tracking devices on her, on Cassie Ventura. Over and over. Mia wasn't just afraid of losing her job anymore. She was afraid he knew everything she was saying, even in private. Combs steal. How? Mia: "He had stolen my phone, and Cassie's phone, many times." And when she tried to confide in Cassie, she says that wasn't safe either, because he always found out every message, every whisper. Nothing was off limits. Mia: "He could find out what I was telling her." The courtroom was silent. The jury? Speechless. Because this wasn't just about abuse anymore. It was about power. A level of control that extended far beyond the workplace, and even when Mia was away from Combs, she wasn't truly away. She told the court she was still expected to be in constant communication. 24 hours a day. "I was never outside of his grip," Mia said, adding that even when she was away from her job, she was still expected to be in constant communication 24/7. Even time with family or friends? Rare, controlled, monitored. It's easy to ask, why didn't she just leave? But Mia had already answered that because she knew what he was capable of. "I'm not sure what he's capable of. I was terrified," she said. Terrified not just of him, but of what would happen if she ever told the truth. If you only read the messages, you'd think they were friends, maybe even close friends. "Merry Christmas. Love you so, so much. Sending you all the love in the world." It sounds warm, genuine. But in court, Mia said those messages weren't love, they were survival. Combs steal. "What did you write to Mr. Combs for Christmas 2018? Mia: "Merry Christmas, I love you, and the New Year's." I had just seen him at Kim's funeral. Kim Porter, the mother of Combs' children, had just passed away. And Mia, still under his shadow, still afraid of his power, sent him love, even after leaving the job. Combs' steal. "You reached out to him?" Mia: "Absolutely." The defense tried to use those messages against her, but Mia had a chilling explanation. She wasn't free. Not emotionally. Not mentally. Not even after she left. Combs' steal asked Mia if she was still under Combs' grip at that time. She said that she still was, psychologically. And the texts didn't stop there. After dreaming she was trapped with R. Kelly, another disgraced figure, she texted Combs to say he had saved her in the dream. Steele read the text aloud in court. Mia: "I wrote, I had a nightmare I was being chased by R. Kelly and you saved me. Steele. The person you say raped you, saved you." It was a moment that stunned the courtroom. But Mia's response said it all. That message, it wasn't truth. It was trauma. She said it herself. "Puff used to be my protector." Also, Puff used to be my protector, she testified. The lines between love, fear, loyalty, and abuse had blurred long ago because, when someone holds that much power over you, even a text becomes a trap. When Mia finally stepped away from Combs' world, it didn't feel like freedom. It felt like everything she had was being ripped away, violently, suddenly, and without warning. Because by that point, Diddy wasn't just her boss, he was her world. Combs' former employee says her entire world was ripped away when company shut down. She had been working at Revolt Films, one of Combs' business ventures. When she found out the company was shutting down, her reaction, one of devastation. Defense attorney Brian Steele returned to the messages Mia sent in December 2016. My entire world was being ripped away from me immediately, Mia testified today. Even in hindsight, when she realized how toxic it had been, at the time, she felt shattered because she had given everything. And even if in hindsight that world was awful, I didn't know it at the time. The defense tried to spin it. Didn't she want to keep working? For him, Mia's answer was raw. I wanted to continue following my dreams. I was finally making real stuff, and I had a separation from him, Mia said. It wasn't about being close to Diddy. It was about chasing the only version of success she'd ever been allowed to touch. And once it was gone, she was left with trauma and silence and the terrifying realization that she may never escape the shadow he left behind. By now, the jury had heard Mia's pain, her fear, her loyalty turned into leverage. But the defense had a different plan. If they could paint her as inconsistent, if they could make her seem emotional, unstable, even fake, they could destroy her credibility with just a smile. And they tried, over and over again. They confronted Mia with dozens of screenshots, texts, posts, and videos, messages she had sent long after the alleged abuse. The defense confronted Mia with about 3 dozen warm and friendly social media posts she made about Combs over the years. Birthday greetings, loving emojis, photos from happier times. They called it evidence, but Mia said it was performance. Social media, she testified, was never about truth. It was about survival. On the stand, Mia said social media was about showing how great your life is, even if it isn't true. In court, the pressure mounted. Combs' lawyer, Brian Steele, ramped up the tone, pushing harder, asking question after question in rapid fire. And then, the courtroom shifted. Because the prosecutors said what many in the gallery were starting to feel. Enough. Prosecutor Maureen Comey accused defense attorney Brian Steele of harassing and humiliating Mia on the stand with yelling, sarcastic, and argumentative questioning. And this time, the judge agreed. Judge Aaron Subramanian said he sustained objections to any improper questions and warned Steele to be mindful not to continue asking argumentative questions. The defense had tried to turn the trial into a theater. But now even the court was watching them with suspicion. Because Mia wasn't just on the stand, she was under attack, and yet she stayed. She answered, she endured, and with every post the defense thought would unravel her story, she only looked stronger. Because anyone can post a filtered memory. But the truth, that doesn't go away when the screen goes dark. Not all evidence comes in the form of words. Sometimes it's a bill, or a name that isn't a name, or a hotel receipt that says more than a witness ever could. That's what happened when Sylvia Oken took the stand. A director at the Beverly Hills Hotel. She wasn't there to tell stories. She was there to confirm facts. And those facts were strange. Jury sees hotel receipts, including a $500 charge for oil damage. Oil damage, not spilled water, not broken glass. Oil damage, and that wasn't all. Another charge, $300 to clean the drapes, and a service fee for picking up 5 candles. Another bill included a $300 charge for cleaning drapes and a fee for going out to pick up 5 candles for combs. But even more bizarre than the charges was the name. Because Diddy wasn't always Diddy. At least, not on paper. Show tweet. Oken testified that she recalled some reservations for combs were made under the alias Frank Black, a twisted nod to the late Notorious B.I.G., whose nickname was Frank White. And yet, when those reservations were made, Diddy wasn't alone. Jury sees hotel record that lists Ventura as an accompany guest on Combs' reservation. Cassie Ventura listed with full access. The room, the charges, the secrets, all under the surface, all part of the world Mia had described. Now, proven with ink. Mia's testimony may have shaken the courtroom, but she wasn't the only one with a story to tell. The prosecution wasn't finished, not even close, because next on the witness list was someone with a secret of their own, a hotel employee, who at first refused to speak. A man named Eddie Garcia, and he wasn't just hesitant. He invoked the Fifth. Former hotel security invokes Fifth Amendment ahead of testimony later today. That's right, Garcia, who worked at the Intercontinental Hotel where key events took place, stood in court and said, "I will not testify, not unless granted immunity." Judge Arun Subramanian said Friday he'd sign an immunity order compelling Garcia to testify. Why the fear? What does Garcia know that could incriminate himself? Or someone else? The prosecution believes quite a lot. Prosecutors plan to call several witnesses after Mia's testimony, including Eddie Garcia, who worked in security at the Intercontinental Hotel. Garcia is expected to testify under immunity. And then there's Jane. Not her real name. That's been hidden. But her accusations? Very real. Very serious. She's expected to testify next, just before catching a flight out of the country. The timing is tight. The stakes are even tighter. Comey said Jane, another one of Combs' accusers who is using a pseudonym during the trial, could take the stand as early as Wednesday afternoon. Every new name brings a new layer. Every testimony cracks the surface, a little deeper. And with each witness, the image of Sean Diddy Combs that the world once knew fades further into shadow. Behind the designer suits, behind the luxury jets, behind the billion-dollar empire, there was fear. There was silence. And if Mia is to be believed, there was wrath. AUSA. Were you worried about your physical safety? Mia. Yes. I'd been abused by Puff before. I knew his wrath. His wrath. That word echoed in the courtroom. Heavy. Loaded. This wasn't just about a boss being difficult. It was about a man Mia says used his fame as a shield, and his power as a weapon. And yet, for years, the world saw none of it, because Mia says, when she smiled for the cameras, when she posted those loving messages, when she wished him happy birthday, it wasn't affection. It was armor. Because when he was happy, she was safe. AUSA. Why did you want to make the person who abused you happy? Mia. When he was happy, I was safe. That's what power can do. It can silence screams, rewrite memories, make you believe that if you just play the part, you'll be okay. And maybe that's the most chilling part of all. Mia's story, if true, doesn't just speak to Sean Combs. It speaks to the system around him, to every person who stayed silent, to every bystander who never flinched. Nobody around batted an eye, Mia said. He was still praised by everybody in his circle and in public. This case isn't just about one man. It's about what happens when power goes unchecked, and the people who get crushed under it. Now the trial isn't over. More witnesses are coming, more truths, or contradictions. may emerge. But one thing is certain. The music industry's glittering surface just cracked wide open. And behind it are stories the world was never supposed to hear. Want more courtroom revelations? Subscribe for daily updates from inside the Diddy trial and other untold Hollywood scandals that were never meant to reach the light. Because the silence is breaking and the truth is getting louder.